Hi everybody, hi every spirit, welcome very much to my YouTube channel. Esoteric Cloud Surfer here for a quick spiritual video. Thank you very much for watching, your support is greatly appreciated. I wish that you leave a like and subscribe and use the links down below to reach more of my content. Today we are going to talk about generational curses, right? And as the name indicates on itself, a generational curse is something negative or that blocks you or that holds you back that comes from your lineage, right? Comes from your parents, grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever, right? And I want to give you an example on some generational curses, how to identify it and how to break them, all right? So let's get started. So the first example that I think it's very relatable to these current times is, for an example, most of the people that I know from personal life and from the internet as well, their parents have been working for somebody else, like on a factory, on an office, on a school, whatever, right? And every time that somebody wants to start their own business or do a different path, their parents and also their peers, but more focusing here on this video, their parents, cousins, aunts or whatever, they will not validate that path. They will even criticize and joke about that path, right? So that's a way to see that your family members or the people around you are in a generational curse, right? But in some cases, you might not be affected by that curse because sometimes you already dealt with that in your past life, growing up. You know what I'm saying? You had an experience that helped you go through that. How you see or how you know that you are being afflicted by that curse is when you try to think, imagine, actually do this stuff or spend time in spaces that are associated with creating your own business, creating your own way, doing things that deal with security and stability in your own way. When you try to do these things and you feel blocked, you feel ashamed, you feel like you're doing something wrong, you feel like you're not doing enough, you feel like you're going against something, right? Then you know you are being affected by that generational curse, right? And how do you break the curse? Is by simply continuing and improving on what you're doing that it's so different, right? Because you cannot destroy the cursed space where your generation comes from, right? But you can create a better space that pushes that negative space away and keeps you protected as a spirit, as an entity inside of that new, fresh space, right? So another example of a generational curse, it's now more connected to the emotions and feelings per se, right? Let's say your parents growing up, they were very toxic on you. They will beat the shit out of you because you didn't clean the plates, the dishes I mean. They would sacrifice you, your integrity and your image to benefit a social image, for an example, or they will deny your problems or your emotions, or they will not support you emotionally in any way, shape and form. And then if you have kids, you might do the same to them, right? Be toxic, deny their feelings, whatever. So that's the generational curse, right? And how you know you are being afflicted by that curse is when you do those things to yourself. When you don't allow yourself to make mistakes and improve, when you don't allow yourself to imagine yourself in different scenarios, in better scenarios, you imagine yourself in a good situation and you feel like you can't do it, you start to deny yourself, you start to gaslight yourself and sabotage yourself. When you deny your own emotions, when you don't take good care of yourself because you are a wuss or something, right? You know you are in the curse. that your parents or your aunts or your family around you passed to you because they did those things to you, and now you are doing those things to yourself. And if you have kids or younger siblings or younger cousins, you might do that to them as well. And how you break that curse? Just literally create that new different space. Do what your parents or your generations didn't do. Take care of yourself. Allow yourself to do mistakes and improve. Allow yourself to feel certain things and to cry out, especially if you're a man. It's okay to cry. You don't need to cry in front of everybody else, but it's okay to cry. If your father told you it's not okay, he was in a generational curse themselves, right? Because they didn't allow themselves to cry. They didn't allow themselves to feel certain things. They didn't allow themselves to do things in different ways. They just repeated what their parents or past generations did to them, right? And you gotta stop the curse right there. And this is very powerful and deep and important, because you are not just breaking the curse to yourself. Because keep in mind, it's a generational curse. So if you break the curse, very likely your future generations will not be afflicted by that curse, because you broke it, and because it's generational, it doesn't go forward anymore. My cat is doing some cat things over there. I hope it doesn't bother you guys. And to finalize the video, I just want you to understand that to see that you are, or to know that you are in a generational curse, it goes very deep, right? So you might want to do some music, but you don't value that decision. You criticize yourself. You think it's not worth it. You think it's not realistic enough. You are in a generational curse. It goes deep. Even when you imagine certain scenarios and you block yourself, or you imagine others criticizing that new thing you want to do, you are in a generational curse. Alright, guys? So, I've noticed that many people from my generation, or that are a bit more into spirituality, by default, they are breaking those curses. And they also noticed that many parents, especially the parents of my generation, a bit older and a bit younger, they did not break any generational curses. They just continue doing whatever their parents or aunties or whatever was doing to them, and sometimes even worse, right? And for example, I was already quote-unquote immune, or I was already rebelling, I was already going against certain generational curses that my parents were casting on me, right? Just defaults by being myself. And that reveals that our current active spiritual generations, from 20 years old to 40, 50 something years old, right? Are already, just by being themselves, breaking the curses, right? And that's a very, very good sign, because most adults that were they were 40, 30, 10 years ago or something, they did not do anything to break those generational curses, right? And even people that are 40 and 50 right now, they might be still stuck in a generational curse or whatever, right? And that's one of the ways that society and the human race in general does not evolve and progress, because they keep repeating, not we, because I'm not a part of them, what was passed down to them without creating something new. And that this is so important. This goes to different areas of life: business, entertainment, politics, religion, wars, whatever. All of those, you can identify and find generational curses in all of those areas. But the most important area is within, because if you can break the generational curses that are closer to you and within you, then you can be immune and break and help others identify and break their own generational curses that come from bigger areas of life like politics, entertainment, and whatever. Alright, so make sure you are going for your dreams, make sure you are being yourself, make sure you don't let anybody or anything bring you down, especially when you are imagining a better situation or you going for your visions and dreams. Alright? Always remember the best way to be is to be your goddamn self, and always believe in all possibilities and you will be alright. Until the next time, Esoteric Cloud Surfer, surfing out. See you soon.